mean, not like all, hokey. I was like, I'm gonna make this album Patsy.
Were you like hiking on a Sedona trail when this vision hit you?
I wasn't hiking a lot back then. I was more drinking.
Okay, drinking on a Sedona trail.
No.
Okay.
Just in my, dark room.
And what's Patsy mean to you?
Well, Patsy's about how we're all played a fool, but I mean, not even necessarily in some sort of cruel way. It's just like life kind of socks us around a bit. I mean,
Right.
that's what happens in life. You get, I think even the most coddled feel the pain of being a living creature. Our lives are reactive, and how does that all pan out? Some ways, some people it's a lot darker than others, and
Right.
some people are able to rise to the challenge. So it's kind of tales of the everyman. But I think more specifically on the people really, really grinding at life. Or
Yeah.
being grinded by it.
Well, that's the perfect introduction. Let's get into it. Decker,
All right.
live and TMI with Patsy.
They would say I'm an angry man, I was a lonesome man, but I'm just a hungry man. Look at me, the bewildered one. I am a Soviet, I am the powerless. Here I am, proletariat. I'm not a tortured man, I am the everyman. Made my decision and my deed is done. I am the bastard son, I'll kill everyone. Never better over there, never better over here, never better anywhere. Make my decision and I'm through. It's all over now for me, it's all over for you. Man, but he was a privileged man. He was an aristocrat. Unfinished life, well, it's over now. I am the chosen one. We bled for everyone. Never better over there, never better over here, never better anywhere. Make my decision and I'm through. It's all over now for me, it's all over for you.
was a love song dedicated to you guys. That was Decker with Patsy. I wanted to throw that back to start off the show today while I changed out as well into my remote gear, which Valdez is a wild fan of. Yeah, this is the Beef Vegan Presents. Shout out with Eric from hockey jerseys. I forgot the actual name of his company, but Eric gifted this to me at a Roadrunners game not too long ago, but last year. And I only break it out on special occasions. Us being at Adult Expectations today, broadcasting live, meeting a bunch of listeners, is going to be a special occasion. And yes, definitely a beautiful song from Decker. Shout out Decker. And if you guys aren't following him on like Spotify and social media, I encourage you to do so. We've already been having a lot of fun this morning, but we're going to have the return of Herb Stratford. And we're going to go through a bunch of things that we're going to be able to see this weekend. Of course, Captain America is out. What's the early buzz on that? We'll see some trailers together on the stream. I'll play some viral videos with you. And then we got Valdez giving us a rundown of the best date ideas and the worst date ideas. And you're right, Jeff. We do need little BVP merch, which Rico would be all about it. We just need the store set up, and then we would have some pretty sick ass designs because it's, Rico's already selling merch on the side hustle for an entity that will not be named because he's so weird.
OnlyFans.
Tucson Times. A lot of people are like, Tucson, are you associated with Tucson Times? I don't know. No, I'm not. And like, okay, weirdo. Be proud. All right. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're live on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. It's Valdez and I hanging out. Herb Stratford's going to be joining us in a little bit, but coming up immediately after Lincoln Park's Heavy as the Crown, Valdez got the rundown of some date ideas for you. He personally cultivated the 3 best date ideas from Fatty is coming up after Lincoln Park's Heavy as the Crown. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here on Rock 102.1. All right. That was being super amped up version. Yes. And good morning, everybody on the stream. Whether it's the first or second time that you're joining us, because we did do an Instagram live stream. Let's see what some of these clips were here that, like after I'm done doing these automatic like streams, I'll generate on the StreamYard to see like if there's any highlight clips. And they usually suck. To be honest with you, it doesn't do a great job, but they did do 4. Let's see what it said. Here's cold-blooded strategy for the All-Star game. Let's see what that was all about. That's, I think, most well-versed in the game, so I think it would have an advantage, And I'm cold-blooded, too, I'd kill half these people just out of spite because I don't like them, Actually, that probably would out me. Like, if Franks started dropping like flies, they're like, it's got to be beef. Just killing everyone named Frank. Yeah, this guy. It is a good clip, but it's out of context. And so immediately I'm just talking about murdering people and they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I will get you caught up on what that clip was all about in reference to. And the show, The Traitors. Hey, real quick, anyone on the stream watch the show, The Traitors? It's on Peacock, all right? It's, it's getting great, like, ratings and buzz. So, have you been watching Traitors? Have you been keeping up with the show Traitors on Peacock? This season 3 that is airing right now, about 6 episodes through. And so sorry that you have the flu there, Lindsay. I was hoping to see you out there today.
Yeah.
But not if you got the flu, stay away. But no, I hope you get better soon. But like Herb Stratford actually was supposed to be in studio, but he was throwing up all day yesterday. He said he's sick, so I think he has the same thing. So it is going around. I was a little scratchy this morning. I feel like I've been dodging viruses left and right. Really have.
Like the dude from The Matrix.
Yeah, got no time to be sick, though. Next week, we are confirmed to be giving away Disturbed tickets. We do have Sean Gatz confirmed for Wednesday. So Sean is a big deal on this show. He's a big deal on the internet. And, he's going to have a fascinating story. It's a dude who, just started doing social media, blowing up, then going into all these different forums, OnlyFans, and then starting a food truck. The guy is a well-spoken, wildly charismatic, and I just can't wait to get to hear some of the stories and get to know the person behind the face tattoos. And that's going to be on Wednesday morning for the podcast broadcast. So we got a lot of cool
entrepreneur.
Stuff. Mm-hmm. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Fatty has another list for us on the Valentine's Day. Somewhat of an expert, are you?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, let's get into it then. What is your list today for us?
In the spirit of the theme of things, I have the 3 best dates I've ever been on and the 3 worst dates I've ever been on.
All right, we'll do 3 best on the air. We'll do 3 worst on the podcast broadcast. So, and this is basically other people could try to emulate these dates?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so give me number 3.
I'm giving you cheat codes.
Yeah, give me all your cheat codes.
All right, so I was in college when I did this one. The groundskeeper hooked me up. He left the gate open, and we went on the baseball field, and I made a picnic, and we watched the sunset, and it was like super romantic.
Okay. Yeah, and how much did that cost? At the end of it, I should see like the value of like, you remember the movie Half Baked, and Dave Chappelle goes on a date, but he only has like $10, right? And you're just kind of calculating in your head. So it's good to know, especially in these times of financial uncertainty, what the budget may be for some of these dates.
See, college fatty had all the energy in the world. So he had like 2 jobs, went to school full time, was a student athlete. So there was like strawberries and champagne involved and like Lunchables. There's a whole thing.
Us Scorpios, we do it differently.
We do.
Yeah,
we go all in before even like.
Yeah, we say we put it on a pedestal is the saying, so to speak. So yeah, we go all out in trying to be as passionate as possible, as long as the end game is the end game, right?
Yeah.
All right, what's number 2 as far as Fatty's 3 fine dates here?
I took this woman to remember when we got the business suite at the D-backs game?
Well, I was never invited to that, but yes, I do recall.
I mean, we were as a station. So.
Yeah.
I took her. We had a great time at the game. We watched the game. Everyone left, and there was a concert after the game, so we're the only ones in the suite. We were talking. We danced. I even had a hotel room. It was cool.
Did you hook up with her in the suite because you were solo in the suite watching the concert? You don't have to answer that on the air because our boss might be listening. But just give me a look. All right, that's good. That's a good look. Okay. Sorry,
Mom.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Valdez's mom. All right, and what is the? Not too many people can get the business suite at Diamondback Stadium type date experience unless they have the hookup there. So, what's the number 1 date?
My best date ever ended up in a road trip to Vegas.
Okay, nice.
So, I did this tryout for this minor league team. And I was so nervous I didn't stretch correctly, and I threw my back out. So I was like stuck in the house for a week, and I had cabin fever. And finally, when I was better, I told the girls dating, I was like, we should go to Phoenix, like just spend the night there. Went to Phoenix, they're like, I should go to Flagstaff, because I was like doing NAU online at the time. Like, I got some stuff I got to resolve. By the time we got to Flag, I was like, Vegas is like 3 hours away.
Yeah.
And that was the longest and the best date I've ever had.
Yeah, that sounds like an adventure for sure. I love road trips on any kind of dates. Problem is, you can't go on a road trip on the first date because they're like, you're kidnapping me. So it gets all weird.
This was like 8th date kind of stuff. But.
Okay, so obviously, if you're following along, you can't do any of these dates. These were just Fatty's personal 3 best dates.
This is just me bragging.
Well, now I'm wildly intrigued to what your 3 worst dates are, and we do have a couple minutes, so let's get right into that. What was your 3rd worst date that you've ever had?
Oh, my God. There's a tie.
Okay, good.
So, at movie tickets, because it was like media passes, you got to see it before anyone else did.
Yeah.
I invited this girl, and she's like, can you get me one more kid for my kid? And I was like, oh, my God. So I squeezed one out, and I was like, hey, I'm running late, so just use my name to get in, and then I'll meet you there.
Right.
I got there. She gave my seat away to her nephew.
Oh, no.
Because when I got there, I was like, why are you not letting me in? What's the deal? Well, yeah, all 3 of them showed up. Leaves Fatty out of the fold. I was like,
Okay, so yeah, it was a date that you were left out of. What was the movie premiere?
It was
remember the movie?
The Michael Jordan Shoes movie.
Okay, Air. I was in there. I saw that, and that was a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they said, no pictures, no photography. What does this woman do? Post a picture of the screen.
And get you in trouble, yeah.
I'm like, damn you.
That's why you don't do that, Valdez. There's so many times you put yourself in situations where like you're going to get yourself in trouble just because you're trying to be a pimp. All right, what is that was tied.
That was tied because this one. I had worked on her car, and then we went to the weed festival, and she snuck in, or we got in, like, her 3 cousins, her friend, her coworker, and her.
Yes.
I was like, this is what? And then at the end of the night, she got mad at me. I was like, bro, what the hell?
Yeah. They were asking for far too much on that and stuff like that. But, I did make a new friend in that scenario, so that it wasn't all bad.
It worked out for you.
Yeah. All right, what is your 2nd worst date?
again, media day for an event where it was only media.
You're
And
gonna get
I was
yourself
like,
fired. I
do you
swear to
want to
God.
go? And she's like, yeah, can I bring a friend? I was like, no, bro, it's just media. Like, I did +1. She brought him anyways and ended up being a dude and ended up being her boyfriend.
Oh,
And then she was still like, okay, I'm like, all right, cool. We went through the whole thing. I was like, okay, I'll see you guys later. She's like, well, didn't you say we're going to go eat too? I was like, get the F out of here.
right.
Or we went to the casino, we ate, and I had to pay for it. And I was like,
No,
what
you
the
paid for
F?
her and the
Yeah,
boyfriend?
yeah.
Shut up, dude. Okay, wait a second. What are you doing in
I
that
don't
scenario?
know what I'm doing in life anymore, man.
Yeah, okay, so this was a station event. You trying to pimp out your hookup to try to date a girl. She comes, said, can I bring a friend? You're thinking maybe it's girlfriend. It is not. It's her
Yeah.
literal boyfriend.
Yeah, on
Okay.
a crappy motorcycle that gave out.
Right, okay, so then they go there. What's the event, by the way? What is it?
It was nightfall.
Okay, it's Nightfall,
Our
okay?
media day where like it was like a preview of what nightfall was going to be.
Okay, so that's fine. Got you into Nightfall. That's already the hookup.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, what about dinner? And so this guy is literally standing there like, yeah, you gonna buy us dinner? And
yeah.
you actually did?
I did it like a
I'm
fool.
like pissed, dude. I want to like
I'm
fight this
angry.
dude for you. What are you doing?
And what's funny is you know all these women.
Yeah, well, yeah. Then I'm. Why am I hating this one then? Okay, how about this? This guy. Where did you take him out to eat?
Well, the only thing open at the time was the casino. And it was like, we went to Moby's.
We went to Moby's and legitimately, because you're not like a super baller. I know you live a good lifestyle, but you're not in a position just to buy strangers lots of stuff. And so, what did they order?
I can't even remember. I was like so mad.
If
But
this son of a bitch got a soda and then got a dessert, I would have been like, you got.
it worked out because I took a lift everywhere. So I stayed. They were done. And I stayed and I actually won on a penny machine like $200.
Well, good. Yeah, you had karma coming your way, and you're a good man.
Sometimes, when I feel like it.
you're a dumb man. In that scenario,
Stupid,
in
man.
that situation, be like, okay. So while you're sitting down at Moby's, you should be like, okay, good. You enjoying your meal, dude? Good. This is basically a binding agreement that you're gonna watch me bang your girl now.
Well, it sucks because the waitress is like, separate bills. I was like, yes. And then she went to the latrine. He's like, hey, do you mind picking this up? He's like, I'm light. I was like,
It's like, what are you even doing here, dude?
I'm like, why do you exist? What the
Right,
hell?
dude. So yeah, he said separate, and he said, "Do you mind picking this up? Because I have no money on
And
me."
he did it when she was gone too. Like
Of
he
course.
couldn't even like. So yeah, I had to save the day. But
Well,
yeah.
she knew they knew the whole thing. You got scammed.
Oh,
In this situation, it was a full blown
grifted so
scam.
bad. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so angry for you. Oh, all right. Oh, we have one more bad date story that Valdez is going to tell us on the podcast broadcast stream. Could it get worse than that? Apparently so. We'll find out. YouTube.com/beefvegan. When we return after music from Metallica, we'll have the one, the only Herb Stratford joining us. So stick around. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Is the Todd on there? All right. See, I'm so mad I came back to slap Valdez. Good. Thanks.
I'm sorry, Todd.
So, and it's good to see you on the stream, Todd. I've been sending him apology texts and everything like that.
Did you tell him it was my fault because I screwed with the board?
Yeah, I don't think he believes anything.
I
But,
did, Todd.
yeah.
I screwed with the board.
Like, you would have heard us on the air, like, literally, like, teasing that. Todd's coming in. Our buddy Todd's coming on the show. You would have heard all that. But
Yeah.
instead, you heard seconds of dead air in between songs because fuckhead, pressed the wrong button. And didn't tell me and didn't press it back. But either way.
I never
Okay.
claimed to be a professional.
I'm so mad about that second worst date, dude.
You are. I can see you. You're like, you don't know if you want to hit me or the girl. Like,
Yeah. I definitely don't want to hit the girl, but I definitely would. Motorcycle guy, I'd slash his tires or something. I'd be like, dude, or like, it's an indecent proposal, except you don't get $1 million. What you get is like an omelet. And then I'm, like with your girl tonight now. That's the agreement on this date you're chaperoning on. The whole thing was weird, upsetting. Okay, with that said. What was your worst date? So that was even the worst date you ever been on. And this is all recent stuff, too.
yeah.
My God, dude, you put yourself in some very weird pussy scenarios.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. So the worst one, this one goes a couple years back. Went out with this girl. We kind of like, we're messing around. And I was like, I should be, a gentleman, like at least take her out on a real date. And then I remember why I don't take her out. So super negative. We went to the casino because that's like my go-to. They have lots of restaurants and there's stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
She's super rude to the waitress, just like, this is dirty and this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, God. So I'm like, maybe if I flirt with the waitress in front of her, she'll end the date. She'll get pissed off and like leave, right?
Yeah.
So I'm flirting with the waitress like hard, and the waitress is kind of flirting back. So then it's not working, and she's still there, and she's still like just. So she finally goes to the bathroom, and the waitress is like, is she related to you, or what's the? I was like, oh, this is like a really bad date. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, I'm sorry. So we were talking, and I'm like, she's been in the bathroom a long time because we're still talking. She came back. She's on the phone. She's arguing with her ex. And she sits down and continues to argue with her ex on the phone. And the waitress is like, all right, well, I'm going to go do waitress things. And so I'm sitting there waiting for her to finish. And then she's still like weird and whatever. So then by the time the check comes, the waitress had put, I'm sorry for your bad date. And she put her number.
Nice.
Because I had told her, she's like, well, how do you know? I was like, if I could shake her, I was like, I'm going to go karaoke. Because back then, the Famous Sam's on Silverbell and Grant used to exist, and they went to karaoke. She's like, I love karaoke. She's like, I'm off in like an hour. I was like, cool. I was like, maybe you could join. So when she gave me her number, I was like, cool. So I'm trying to shake this chick. I'm like, all right, man. I was like, I'm going to go, take a watery doo-doo and then play some machines.
Yeah,
And she's
that's
like,
a good out. Always got to say, diarrhea. Diarrhea came up.
She hung on, and she hung on. I was like, fuck. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to get going. I got to meet friends at, Famous Sam's. She's like, oh, yeah, I'll go too. I was like, what the hell? Like, take the hint. And yeah, she went to Famous Sam's. The waitress shows up, and we all karaokeed, and my other friend showed up and, went home with the waitress. But that chick did not take the hint. She stayed.
That chick stayed, C-blocked you, and then your buddy banged
She
the
didn't
waitress?
No, she didn't see block. I went home with the waitress. So she was there
you
to
went home
watch
with
the
the
whole
waitress.
thing unfold because it was like.
Oh, you did go home with the
Yeah,
waitress.
yeah.
Okay. And then that was your worst date?
Life
though?
was good.
I
Yeah.
don't know. That's good that, Herb Stratford got to hear the end of that.
Oh,
Because,
sorry. Herb.
well, no, that's good. He has to vicariously live through, guys who've been single before because
He's here.
Herb was locked in a relationship from, since he was 18, and he was one of the lucky ones that found the love of his life right off the bat.
Because he's a good man.
Yeah, good man, Herb.
He's not a scumbag like Valdez.
Yeah,
That guy.
welcome back to your scumbag friends. This is what balances you out. Are you feeling better, my friend?
I am. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm telling you, this was, I have not thrown up this hard in decades. It was really bad. So,
well, Lindsay, our streamer, she's currently has the flu. Flu right now is like at all-time high for the last 15 years, right? So, it's going around big time. And I feel your pain. I'm dodging it left and right. I'm snorting zinc like it's nobody's business, and it's not like powdered zinc. It's a little spray thing, but I am like every now and then, give me all that zinc, please. Protect me from everything. But it's also a good diet. So I know that you've been kind of like, on vacation. You've been going to Critics' Choice Awards. You were in Sundance. You were, we haven't seen you in a while because you've been at all these places. And, when you're away from home and you're at these like events, you're eating more, right? And eating probably great food. Probably gained a couple pounds in the process, which are all gone now. And that's good.
Herb told me he hasn't vomited this much since he saw Britney Spears in Crossroads. You know that movie is terrible, Herb.
Yes.
Nice reference, Valdez.
Thank you.
Excellent reference, Valdez. Yes, excellent. Let's see.
It's actually I don't eat as much when I'm on the road because I'm so busy seeing movies and doing stuff, right? And I mean, you wouldn't believe the lack of food they give you at the Critics' Choice Awards. They give you a little plate with a couple of grapes and some cheese and crackers. It's not like they're feeding you well. So
I would believe it though, because you're just like, hey, you're just critics and stuff. We're gonna give the food to the celebrities that show up. There's the lobster tail. There's the steak with
That's
that little
true.
surf and turf. And then, hey, critics, here's some Ritz crackers.
saltines.
Eat this.
Yeah, you're lucky to be here, so close to Scarlett Johansson. You know?
Well, you know what, though? They do try and liquor you up because that makes for better speeches. So I was at a table with Jesse Eisenberg and Jennifer
Nice.
Grey, who is unrecognizable from Dirty Dancing. And anyway, on the table, along with our sort of not so great food, was a full bottle, 2 different bottles of tequila, a bottle of wine, and then, there's some water too. But, we're going to fill your water glasses with tequila. So if you win, you're
That's
really going to
awesome.
rip. So
That is awesome. I mean, honestly. So, and are you small talking with Jesse Eisenberg and Jennifer Grey?
I was a little bit, but they basically, even though there's a critic at every table, they sort of put the talent at one end and surround them, so you're not sitting next to them, you're sitting across from them. So
Yeah.
but
so
yeah,
you're
and the funny
staring at
thing
them
was, I
awkwardly.
had interviewed him a couple times, and I said, hey, we've done a junket or two before with you, and I said, I'm from Tucson, Arizona. He's like, yeah, I remember you. So I mean, he could have just been being nice, but
That's a very nice response, and that's
not,
fine.
not a
I
lot
mean,
of people, from Tucson doing that. So yeah.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, and maybe he does, because he does seem like pretty smart guy.
Yes.
And so, did they know that you're not Jewish? Because it sounds like they sat you at the Jewish table.
It's entirely possible. Well, there's a thing where if you ask. And so I always asked to be at a particular table, because a couple years way back in the beginning, they would sit me at a table with a bunch of people from a TV show that I didn't know and I hadn't watched. And I'm like,
Yeah, you can't
so I
even
try and
BS.
say, this is who I'd love to be at their table, and, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. So, any other like behind the scenes tidbits from this year's Critics' Choice Awards, which was pushed back because of the California fires, right?
Yeah, it was pushed back twice. So it was, sort of hard for them to be all celebratory when, so much has been lost. And so they did not do a red carpet this year. And they had a lot of firefighters there, and there was some really emotional speeches, like from Adam Brody, who won because they lost their house. Him and Leighton Meester's house burned down. And so there was some really sort of powerful moments, a couple surprises. It was fun, and actually this year, and I posted some pictures on Instagram, but this year we were able to get, my wife always goes with me, but this year we were able to have another critic give up their +1, and we took our son with us, which was great.
Nice.
Then he got to meet Ewan McGregor and Anthony Starr from Homelander from The Boys, and Legolas, Orlando Bloom. So it was fun, to have everybody, to have, my whole family there, and to have some fun interactions with people. So
Yeah, that sounds awesome, dude. Yeah, was Adam Brody like, hey, thanks for the award. Too bad I don't have a place to put it.
No, he was like, we'll build the house around this. And, it's funny.
Shop
Sometimes
made of mahogany, and that goes up. Might as well be a matchstick. Sorry.
Well, and it's funny because sometimes when, when they get up and people win an award, they're like, critics, yeah. They're like, sometimes you like my work and sometimes you don't, but I'll take this.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, and congratulations, Lynn's glad that's not the flu. So, hope you feel better soon. It's that's cool though. That's
it was a good time. It was a good time. And Sundance was great. Saw some great films, and yeah, but I'm glad to be home, and I'll get back into the saddle next week with you guys for sure.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So yeah, moving forward, Herb Stratford Fridays here on the podcast broadcast. So it's definitely going to be a good way to end the week. We look forward to it. Mari's bummed, and and Rico and stuff. They're like, oh, we don't get to know Herb. Be like, well, you guys can come in on an extra day, and they're like, oh, we'll miss him. I'm like, okay, fine. That's you. Fuck you, dude. All right, so
I'm happy because I win. I'm like, I get Herb to myself.
yeah, Valdez Friday for sure. Let's get on here. Rock on 2.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. You can tell by that jolly laugh we were joined by an old friend of our show. And when I say old, I mean geriatric. We got Herb Stratford, everybody. Welcome back, Herb.
And thank you, whippersnapper.
All right, there's so many things to cover in the world of television and movies. Of course, Marvel's back with a blockbuster, Captain America: Brave New World. We're gonna start off our conversation with this because what do you say the early buzz is on basically it's not a reboot. It's a continuation, but with a new Captain America and Anthony Mackie. Do they pull it off with Marvel's Captain America?
So it's an interesting thing. This is an interesting film in that number one, it's sort of wrapping up the end of Marvel Phase 5, right? So they got a lot of loose ends, a lot of strings they're trying to sort of. Everybody wanted to have an Anthony Mackie led Cap America story ever since the end of the Endgame, but also it's like they're about to launch into a whole different world with Phase 6. Phase 6, of course, the big things are the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, and the new Daredevil series. So it's almost like, well, let's just sort of wrap everything up neatly here. But having said that, still, seeing Harrison Ford at 82 stepping into the Marvel universe, taking over for the late, now I'm going to blank on his name, who played Thunderbolt Ross. Anyway, it's interesting to see for a lot of those reasons, but it's almost like there's an unfair bar placed on this movie. And it's like, because Marvel's been sort of mediocre as of late, people are like, oh, well, this one's going to fix everything. And we're going to be back to form with this one. And this is going to be back to the Avengers and blah, blah, blah. It's too much pressure, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it delivers. It's fun. It's a fun ride. I mean, but if like you're looking for the greatest, Avengers movie, that's not this movie. It's not. There's a great cast. I mean, in addition to Harrison Ford, you've got, Giancarlo Esposito. I mean, how do you go wrong when that guy's in your movie or your TV show, right? So I think it's a little bit of fanboy hate because it's never enough, but I think it's fine. It's just a little weird to drop this in February, though. I've got to say this felt like it should have been a May movie, but then because of Thunderbolts and because of Fantastic Four, they're like, we'll just push it earlier because there's never anything going on in February. And that's true. There isn't a lot going on, but
I will say this,
I don't know.
Because you said at the beginning of your review saying it's wrapping up Phase 5, and I know a lot of Marvel fans are like, "Thank God that we're getting done with Phase 5," because I mean, Phase 5 in whole has been nothing but a large turd burger. You know what I mean? It hasn't necessarily delivered. It's been definitely, if you're going to be in the long run, you're going to have peaks and valleys. Marvel's always had peaks and valleys, and we've definitely been in a long valley and a long drought. And to turn the page and get to the Robert Downey Jr. led Dr. Doom storyline narrative, we couldn't get there fast enough, right? So, yeah, bang this out in February. Try to make your money back on this. Write off the rest of the losses as a tax write-off. And let's get to the good stuff because it really hasn't been hitting. Now, there are, right now, the Rotten Tomatoes is at what for Captain America Brave New World?
I haven't even looked at it this morning, but that's a really good question because I'm wondering.
Okay, it says it's currently getting a 51% fresh rating. And here's some good and bad reviews for Captain America Brave New World. Now, of course, people, if you're looking for a popcorn flick this weekend, you're going to want to go anyways. And honestly, I might go with my daughter tonight for our little Valentine's Day thing, especially since it seems like nobody's going to be there. Here's the good. Compared to some of the studio's recent misfires, this new entry is at least passable. That's what Newsday said, and that's part of the good reviews. At least passable.
Damn.
Consequence said, finally, Marvel has taken a firm stand on the issue of national, maybe even international importance. Hulks should not be president. That was good review there. And it's superhero meat and potatoes served with just enough competence and dash not to feel like reheated leftovers. And that was from Variety. So those are the good reviews so far. And those good reviews don't necessarily seem like that good of reviews. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And that's what I'm saying. It's just sort of a middle of the road film. It's not, it's not a terrible stinker. It's not Avengers Endgame, right? I mean, it's like I'm happy to see some storylines wrapped up. I'm happy to see Harrison Ford, I think if you're a fan, sure. If you're not, wait for pay-per-view. It'll be out in about 6 weeks, and you watch it at home.
Yeah, it'll be on Disney Plus in no time. All right,
Yep.
Here are the bad reviews. With its cheap action and garish visuals, it's then that we enter yet another genre altogether: action figure commercial. New York Times said that one.
Ouch.
The Times of Israel said, I didn't know that they have the Times, but the story is clunky. The action is rote. Ooh. The characters are bland, and the special effects look cheap. I mean, they didn't pull no punches on that one. And Digital Trend said no blockbuster that costs this much should look so shoddy. I have seen comments about the CGI in this and talking about how they compare it to CW shows, which is not good when you're a multi-billion-dollar studio like Marvel, right?
Wow.
Yeah. It's not the first time. It's not the first time that Marvel has had these, these complaints because it happened during She-Hulk. There's sometimes it's like they seem like they phoned it in with their CGI, right?
Yeah, but there was so much wrong with She-Hulk. I mean, everything about that show was bad. So I don't know.
I think I watched the wrong She-Hulk because the one I watched, it was China as She-Hulk.
Was it X-rated?
Now that I think about it, yeah, there was a lot of nudity. So
Yeah,
I watched the wrong one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Herb.
Yeah,
Sorry.
radiation can engorge certain areas of the body too. That's just a fun fact. Okay, so that was Captain America. We're gonna keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast with Herb Stratford, talking about a documentary about Led Zeppelin that you could see in theaters. Plus, we're gonna geek out on some reality TV competition and talk about the huge SNL 3-hour special that NBC and Peacock has to plan. And this is all before we do our live broadcast at Adult Expectations today from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and give away a bunch of goodies. So stick around and join us on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. I had to plug that we are doing a special live broadcast at Adult Expectations. You still have an account there, Herb?
No, I have never set foot. Sorry to tell you.
Well, you could. Yeah, I mean, it has more than just sex toys and accessories for sure. It has outfit choices, visual stuff, and then of course, like accessories like lubricants and things like that.
For some reason, it seems like the perfect remote for you to be doing. I don't know. It's on brand, 100%.
Yes. No, we have a lot of people that are excited to come out and join us. In fact, we're going to play some games there, right? Like, the game Cornhole, right? So
Yeah.
instead of using bean bags, we're going to do it with dildos, and we're going to throw dildos into the cornhole. Try to get your dildo in my cornhole, basically, is the setup for that game. And then the game Ring Toss, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to do C ring toss. So these are going to be C rings, right?
All right.
And going to throw them onto, again, dildos. So we're going to do a lot of dildo stuff today. Just call me Dildo Baggins, because that's pretty much what I'm.
That's a movie also that Valdez has watched.
Yes, 100%.
The trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Let's talk about here. You tell me all about this Led Zeppelin documentary. I've seen several Led Zeppelin documentaries. I've read their biographies before. It's always fascinating, the tale of Led Zeppelin, their rise to fame. The groupies, the just sex, drugs, and rock and roll at the peak of an era that was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and then being like these heavy metal icons. So what makes this becoming Led Zeppelin different and good?
So yeah, I'm the same as you. I've read the Hammer of the Gods book, which is great. I've seen a ton of stuff. The great documentary Mr. Jimmy about the Japanese guitar player that is like the best best guitarist in terms of playing Zeppelin stuff. Really, really fascinating stuff. But what's different about this movie is this is the very first time that the band has ever cooperated with anybody. So like, I think Hammer of the Gods might even be unauthorized. It was just them talking to everybody. But the band, and when I say the band cooperated, what this really means more than anything is that Jimmy Page opened up the archives, because Jimmy has always been the guy who controlled the legacy of Led Zeppelin. So he's the one that remasters all the albums, and he has all this stuff. And yes, Robert and John Paul Jones, the other two surviving members, are in the film. But really, it's because of Jimmy's participation that everything happened. And I think they wanted to wait, a little bit with, people stop saying reunite, because that's been the constant, claim. And of course, they've done a number of shows, one-offs with different people, like with Jason Bonham, John Bonham's son, on drums. But, this is the first time that you're actually seeing their story told in their words. And that's unique. And the idea that we can see it now in theaters where the sound system is so much better. And if you have an IMAX that you can go to, that would be the closest one, to be Phoenix for us. But, if you're a Zeppelin fan, this is Nirvana, because this is footage you've never seen. This is them telling their story in their words.
That's awesome. And so does this mean that this is the closest you're going to get to a Led Zeppelin concert, but does this mean that there's a potential of them reuniting, doing a little tour and stuff? I don't know.
No. They basically, and really it comes down to Plant, and he's just like, you know what, that was then, this is now. I'm not interested in revisiting that stuff. Now, having said that, Jimmy Page got on stage and played with the Black Crowes. I think it was the Black Crowes for that music benefit for LA. So, like, Page is the one that seems like he's more willing to sort of revel in that legacy. But, and, you know, John Paul Jones is just, he's off, you know, like they're just like, whatever, you were our keyboard player. So, you know, he seems like he's always been like sort of the, you know,
the odd man out.
The third leg of that stool, you know.
Even though he's probably one of the most important members and orchestrators, conductors of that band.
Absolutely. And he was probably he was the one that was more classically trained than anyone too. So, you know, that's just the reason this all makes more sense, is just, it was such a great combination of all of them, the brute force of Bonzo on drums. But also I would say that, you know, one thing about this that is really important that a lot of people don't sort of understand is, you know, Zeppelin's not just, American heavy metal. It's like, no, this was their music was this blending of English sort of folk and sort of traditional music with American R&B, and then on, you know, up to 11 amplified. And no other band was doing this. I mean, people copied Led Zeppelin for sure, right? You know, just like all the hair bands copied, you know, whoever. You know, they were really groundbreaking, and some of that gets lost. And so I think that's why it's so great to finally be able to tell the story. You know, they were influenced, just like the Beatles were influenced by American music. And this is how they, through their filter of their, you know, upbringing and everything, brought music to life. And there's never going to be another Led Zeppelin. I mean,
it's true. I did have to post this though. So, you know, let's see. Joe said on the Facebook stream, sound is gone. And then I had to comment back with, sound is gone on Facebook because Led Zeppelin are dicks. Because we played just a little bit of the trailer, and on Facebook, like, we just did a Marvel film, right? We were fine streaming that. You stream anything about, like, trying to promote their documentary, and they're like, you owe us all the money. Like, shut up, dude. You got all the money already. Like, dicks, dude. That is the 100% their company and their publishing and stuff. And I'm sure I'm going to have a bunch of different notifications on YouTube that I'll have to fight later just because of it. So, you know, did they talk about the red snapper thing?
No, it's a baby shark, right? It's not a snapper.
Well, I mean, I've read somewhere it was actual snapper, but
I think it was a mud shark, I thought. But anyway,
I mean, that's part of the legend, right? Which fish did you know, use as a sex toy. Fish not available at adult expectation, by the way.
But I know a guy.
Yeah.
So if you need one,
exactly.
hit up your buddy Valdez.
Yeah. And then they talk about Jimmy Page's illicit relationships with women that were underage at the time.
Well, no, of course not. I mean, you know, you're not going to get into something that's litigious. I mean, you know, it's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was, you know, there was.
Yeah, but you know, that was, I mean,
type.
Not to make excuses, but certainly that was a different time and different things were happening. And yeah, I mean, it's nothing that anyone condones, but yeah, no, they don't go into too much of the dirt because they authorized this, right? They probably had final cut. They're not going to say anything out there that's going to put them in trouble. So yeah, if you're a fan, definitely this is something to see and see it big and loud for sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Hold on a second.
So is it like Gary Glitter levels of like underage girls, or not that bad?
No. That, yeah, no. I mean, you know, and I mean, yeah, Gary Glitter's a whole nother story. We don't need that documentary. Or makes excuses for Jimmy Page.
No, thank
you.
Headline, tag it. Let's get on it. Oh, I couldn't type fast enough. I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Not making excuses for this guy. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Nope, gotcha. Well, we missed you, dude. We missed you. Let's get back on the air here. You know, have you been watching Traders by chance?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean, I watched like an episode or two of the first season. I think when Bananas was on it, and I was like,
season 2, yeah.
Okay, and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, and then it just didn't click for me. So
okay, that's fair enough. But for whatever reason, you love Love Is Blind, huh?
It's a guilty pleasure, man. Everybody's got to have a few of them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely have a laundry list of guilty pleasures when it comes to your television viewing, but reality TV is part of it. And, you know, I'm no better, and I get that. But what makes season 8 of Love Is Blind so captivating to you?
You know, it's just the whole. So I'm not a straight dating show kind of guy. Like, I don't like The Bachelor or the, you know, whatever, you know, any of that stuff. But it's the stuff that has a weird twist, right? So like the one where you can't touch each other or have sex, right? And you're stuck on the island with all those hot people, and I just sort of revel in their pain. And then Love is Blind is another one where they put these couples who are clearly having issues, not couples, singles who are having issues finding a companion, and they make them date through a wall for a couple weeks, and then they propose if they make a connection. And then they go off and they have like a month to sort of figure out if they want to get married. They live with each other. They meet each other's families. So it's just sort of voyeuristic, like just, okay, are these people going to make it or not? And then you're sort of like, okay, this is no way this is going to work. And then, you really don't know up until they walk up to the altar if they're going to say I do or not. And then like walk out, leave all your family there like, holy shit, what just happened? Sorry. Sorry, dump
Thanks
that.
for that heads up. Yeah. We're not just on
so,
the podcast, Herb. Rock and roll.
Sorry.
All right. That's what happens when he looks at hot people in their 20s. He loses all control. This is why. Are you watching this with your wife too? Does she enjoy watching this as well, or is this something that you watch without her?
No, we watch it. Yeah.
I do know Love is Blind. I've seen, quasi celebrities come out of that orbit, and a lot of them, the goal is you're hoping that, okay, I fell in love with this person based off their character. Please be hot. Please be hot. Please be hot. And then the reveal is whether they're hot or not, and then what the visceral physical reaction to meeting that person in real life is. And how it did look like in the trailer though that all these people that are contestants are all kind of like 10 out of 10s. They wouldn't have any guys like me or Valdez on this show, huh?
No, it's funny you say that, because I said that to my wife the other day. I was like, this is really sort of a controlled experiment, because, you sort of know going in, if you've watched the show, you're like, well, they're not going to stick anybody in there that's not, physically attractive. I mean, that would actually be more interesting, because then you really are not falling in love with, the person before you see the person, because you're sort of just under the assumption, they're going to be attractive.
Dude, like if your show's Love is Blind, then cast people that only have sex with the lights off, not ones that are like willingly, using a ring light and mirrors so they can see every angle of their perfectness. Like, no, it doesn't. You lost me on that. Like, you got to show at least a hot chick with give us frumpy dudes a chance to say, hey, look at us, sense of humor, a little bit of intelligence, got driven careers. How's that?
White teeth.
Yeah. Oh, speak for yourself, but still, but that's Love is Blind season 8. It's available on Netflix, correct?
Yes, it is. And we skipped over The Gorge. Did you want to talk about
we're going to be talking about it here on the podcast broadcast.
Okay. All right.
So that's a big show. That's on Apple Plus. So Herb Stratford's going to tell us all about it on youtube.com/beefvegan. Back with a beef tip after music from Allison Chains of Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear, Captain Potty Mouth. Peter Potty Mouth.
It's because I'm at home. Like I don't have my filters on. So
I feel so safe with you that it just like went phew. Like
I missed it. I was like, oh
yeah. It wasn't until your apology that I'm like, oh yeah. I guess I got to do something here. Boop. I don't even think I would have gotten in trouble from it if if Debbie, my boss, heard, and because she's just like, I like that Herb Stratford. Yeah, he said shit, but it's okay. He's
he meant
probably right.
Yeah, I'll see him at the Fox Theater at one of these fundraising events here soon. All right, so yeah, tell me about The Gorge, dude. Why are you stoked about this?
So, when I saw the trailer and I saw the cast, let's just start with the cast. I'm a big fan of Anya Taylor-Joy ever since The Witch and everything she's done, The Menu. She's just great. And then, of course, one of my least favorite actors, Miles Teller, is in it. So that takes a little bit off of it, right? But a really great, compelling sort of sci-fi story that takes you in places that you really did not expect it to go. So the story of this is there is a gorge, a canyon, basically, that is has something going on down there, and you don't really know what it is. And there are two snipers positioned on either side of the gorge. Miles Teller is the one on sort of the NATO or the U.S. side of this gorge, and then Anya Taylor-Joy is on sort of the Eastern European side of the gorge. They're not allowed to talk to each other. They're isolated. They're there for a year without any contact except like a monthly radio check. So of course they meet each other and through binoculars and notepads start writing messages to each other across this giant sort of gorge. And, you know, of course they're going to fall in love and everything else that you sort of expect. Well, what's interesting is what happens when they end up inside the gorge. And I'm not going to ruin anything, but there's some pretty crazy stuff going on. Did not expect what's happening. And then they have to get out of that. And it's a wild ride. It's very well done. I'll tell you, in the era before streaming, this would have been in the theaters and would have been a big deal because with that cast, and it's like, you know, it's a really cool story. It's not just a retread. It's not a remake. It's not a continuation of something. It's a standalone story. Sigourney Weaver is also in this film as sort of one of the bosses, and it's a good ride. So if you're looking for something to do tonight, you're at home, you got Apple TV, this is a winner for sure.
Oh, lucky for those who have Apple TV. That does seem pretty cool. I know. I'm so behind on Apple
I'm not
TV.
one of those.
Yeah, I'm not one of those Apple TV guys, but, you know, eventually. But, yeah, that looks awesome, dude. And, well, Apple TV just puts out quality. We've talked about it before. They are uber impressive on how what they invest in and what they put out. And a lot of it goes under the radar because not that many people have Apple TV. It's not one of the top 3 streamers.
Yeah, they're not cranking the material out. They're definitely spending time. So if you watch anything like, you know, honestly, it's one of the subscription services I think is worth the money because, you know, you've got Severance in there. You've got just so many great things. And it's really sort of the prestige sort of pay-per-view. And yeah, I mean, the Silo, another great series. They really sort of owned For All Mankind. So they sort of own that sci-fi space in a way that nobody else does. And it's all high quality talent and everybody else. So.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, with that said, let me sell you on Traders real quick. Okay. So season 3 is happening right now. And Traders is like, you know, okay, he's gone. Sorry. I mean, I'm not talking about beautiful people banging.
That made me nervous.
Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I was like, let me tell you something real quick.
I peed a little bit. I'm like, did somebody break in his house? Does he have to defend his home? Like the law enforcement and me just wanted to be like, where's Herb live?
Yeah.
Sorry. No, I had to open the back door. It's all good.
You're familiar with Tom Sandoval, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you know, for those who aren't, you know, he made a name as on Vanderpump Rules, and that was a wildly popular reality television show for ladies for over a decade. I didn't even know it existed until like a couple of years ago. In my last relationship, my ex was so just like absorbed with the Tom Sandoval cheating scandal. So allegedly, this dude cheated on his wife, which made every like woman in America who was a fan of this show furious. They hated Tom Sandoval. He's like one of America's biggest villains, according to hot soccer moms all over the United States. All right. So, in fact, actually, he's a contestant on the Traders this year, and every female contestant hates him right off the bat for being a cheating dog. Right. The thing about Tom Sandoval that made me a fan of him this season on the Traders is because he is so goddamn stupid. He is so dumb, so slow that he is inadvertently great at the game because he's making wild, like, random guesses that make no sense whatsoever. There was an example in last night's episode where Alan Cummings, the host, says, like, be a doll and hurry up, or like, be a doll and hurry and join me, right? And or like some quickly. And then everyone else is like, a doll. That's the clue. And then Tom Sandoval goes, hurry. And they're like, no, dude. The doll is the clue. You dumb fuck, dude. So they hate him. They hate him, dude. And so last night, in each episode, they do a round table to try to oust a murderer, right? A traitor, if you will. All right, and this was Tom Sandoval's argument to try to find the traitor, but he outed himself for being a dirty, cheating scumbag. Check this out, dude.
We believe that the remaining traitors are likely to be girls.
At least one. Come on. Also, generally speaking and historically, girls are better cheaters than guys just because they have better social skills.
Oh my God, I said cheater. I said traitors. I said traitors. Sorry.
You said cheater.
I meant to say traitors. Guys are obviously much more likely to cheat. I fully get that.
We know you know. We know you know.
Stop.
Everybody vote for Tom.
I'm sorry. I meant traitors.
Don't dig yourself deeper.
Yeah.
Got like a bunch of jackals on a three-legged gazelle, man. They jumped on that.
I know. He's so stupid, dude. And that's why I love it. We're getting back on the air. But I'm telling you, you should probably Rock 102.1 KFMA. Like I said, Herb, you should probably check out the season of Traders because, and even watch through the last season because it is actually a wildly popular show. But it's been pretty entertaining. And with Tom Sandoval on this season and being as dumb as he is, you know, like women hate him. And I love him the fact that he's so hated and because he's so stupid. He's so stupid. I mean, eventually he's going to be like, I think the door is the traitor. Like, that's an inanimate object, Tom. That's, I think the sound guy is the traitor. Not eligible, Tom. That guy's working right now. He's not in the game, Tom. You dumb, beautiful son of a bitch. I mean, so stupid. So stupid and perfect for reality TV. So
I love Lamp.
I love Lamp, for sure. You know, Herb, it's been fantastic catching up with you again. Can't wait to get you back in studio next week. Next week, we have an all-star week. We're giving away tickets for Disturbed. We're going to have Sean Gatz in studio on Wednesday, Herb Stratford in on Friday, Rocco in on Tuesday, giving away gift certificates to his fantastic restaurant and, you know, just loading you up with tickets for the Tucson Roadrunners as well, getting ready for Dusty's birthday. So all that's happening next week. Valdez and I are about to broadcast live, so the show is just going to continue from 11 to 1 p.m. at Adult Expectations, but the only way to really enjoy it is to join us. So if you're in the area, it's on Stone, just north of Grant. We're going to be giving away tons of prizes courtesy of Adult Expectations. Might even have some concert tickets to give away as well. But before we wrap things up, I'll give you a beef tip. My beef tip today is actually from Billy, who called in earlier. Now, we had a situation where Will said that he has a crush on his neighbor, and he's looking to gift her 24 roses today, but doesn't even know her name. So we asked advice from our listeners. Listen to what Billy said. Rocco 2.1, who's this?
This is Billy.
All right, Billy. All right, from a man. What should Will do, Billy?
So he needs to drop a pair. He's not going to get anywhere. You know, women love a confident man.
Okay.
He needs to lead with that.
Right.
But I think the dozen roses is a little bit too much.
2 dozen.
I think you should approach it like, no, just a single rose in the chocolate.
Okay.
And you should approach it like this. Say, tell her, look, your vibe was so captivating and just took me aback that I can't remember your name right now, but I wanted to make sure you had an awesome Valentine's Day. I got you these. I hope you have a wonderful day, beautiful.
See, Billy gets some. You
Short
can tell.
and sweet.
This dude gets laid all the time. You could tell. This is an approach that is pretty smooth. And confidence is key, right, what you're saying. And you're just dropping off, not as like a Valentine's Day or will you go on a date with me? You're basically saying, hey, I just wanted to give these to you to make sure you have a great Valentine's Day. And then walk off into the sunset like a pimp. There you go. So that's the beef tip, all right? So that's the way you want to approach the game. I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day. And even if you don't have a lover, you can stop by Adult Expectations and pick up something to help you love yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later.
When you wish upon a...
Excellent job there, Herb. It was fun catching up with you. Fun show for sure, dude.
All right, thanks. I'll see you in studio next week.
All right,
Before
dude, feel
you
better.
leave, Herb, I got this shirt on. It's the Lady Gaga Star is Born just for today.
Oh, very nice.
I knew
Love
you'd
it.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Love it. Good work, Valdez.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right, see you guys later, everyone. Thanks for watching. See you at Adult Expectations.